What is happiness? That is the $64 question for each and every human on this earth. As we all know, what makes one person happy doesn't necessarily make the other person happy. The interesting thing I have observed over the years is how we sometimes view others as a reflection of our own happiness and what we personally see as the way that we think that other people should be happy through telling them what we observe in our own hearts and in our own soul, what we believe makes us happy, how we project that onto other people and compare ourselves to how other people are and what other people do. And we also have a tendency to think that other people have the power to make us happy or make us sad. And that's somewhat true. You can't escape the fact that we are all connected and each and every one of us has an impact on us, even when we're not conscious of it. We know that other people, if they're feeling a certain way, will have an emotional response within us, be that if they're upbeat or they're downbeat, or whatever they are when you're associated with them, and also with yourself, with them, non-verbally, we're all having an effect on each other. So this word happiness, it's a big word from the point of view that if you're not happy, you will emit that to other people, and other people can tend to stay away from people that are not happy and they're heavy, or they've always got problems and they're always struggling, being a victim in life. People like that will always say it's other people's fault why they are what they are in life. One other aspect of finding our own personal happiness surrounds itself with breaking away from environments or situations or things that we do to at least give ourselves a chance to find something more than whatever it is in our lives that we're not happy with. If we don't make that change, then I can't see how we're going to find the happiness that we can feel in our heart and in our soul that is missing in one's life. And the benefit of breaking the nut, so to speak, and changing from, it might be a work situation, it could be a relationship situation, it could be friendships that aren't going well. It could be lots of things. Only people that aren't happy in their soul and their life only know what those things are that they're not happy with. And the pleasure of breaking away from what we're not happy with is different. It's change. There's probably some vulnerability in it. But the upside of it is that it's a new start. It's refreshing. It's exciting. It's better than what we've been familiar with when we're not happy. But one of the problems I see is why we struggle to break away from an unhappy life is that we become comfortable in unhappiness. And becoming comfortable in a life or in a situation in your life that you're not happy with is a tragedy in a life. It's a tragedy on a couple of positions. That the first that comes to mind is that we never reach the happiness that we deserve. And that is an unfulfilled existence. The other thing that comes to mind is that we stay at a level where fear is not challenged. And when fear is not challenged, a life can become incomplete or not exciting. It appears when we overcome our fears, we tend to become more exhilarated within our soul. And that exhilaration feels good. And it also can give a person confidence that they can do that again and again. The level of exhilarating ourselves to go into different situations or different roads or different paths or different experiences is the reward of taking the risk and not knowing what is beyond a life that we're familiar with. But how do we step into those fields of unfamiliarity? easier said than done for most people. But I think the way to step into those fields is to understand that we all hold the ace in the choices that we make. It's so easy to focus on external situations in our everyday life and blame everybody or circumstances that I believe we all create as the reason why our lives are not happy. To go into these uncharted territories, I've given ourselves a chance to find more happiness in a life. I think one of the ingredients is we need to understand, or not need to understand, it's a choice, just even coming to this realisation that we are the masters of this destiny to find a happier life. It's got nothing to do with nobody else. Why people live a life unfulfilled. It's all got to do with people not taking stock of the choices and the decisions they hold in their toolbox to be accessible at any time in their lives for them to use to create a new way. And any justification in that will keep you where you are. Justifications and rationalising your situation is just fear. It's fear of the unknown. It's fear of stepping out to what you're familiar with. And it's fear of succeeding and going down a road that is unfamiliar and will require whoever decides to go down that road a vulnerability that most people don't want to take, irrespectively of the unhappiness or the unfulfillment or not content life of being a victim and not being happy. How do we arrive at that point of not focusing or justifying why we can't step out into a new world or into a new way of doing things? I think that's a personal journey for all of us. And I've heard a saying that when the student's ready, the teacher appears. But the student, number one, has to show up for a class And I believe, this is just through my life and what I've been through, I believe the class is life. I believe that life is one big university, that we can look at it where we're learning every single day. We're learning something new about the struggles. We're learning something new about hardship. We're learning something new about ourselves. We're always learning something new about why things aren't manifesting through effort. We're learning something new about a mundane life that keeps clocking over like a clock every single day and nothing changes. We're learning something new about how we interact with other people and maybe why we haven't got what we truly desire in our heart. We may learn something new about our relationships with our children and other people. Goals, dreams, aspirations. We can learn something new every day. Or we don't have to learn a thing. And if you're happy and content with that, then you have arrived. But I think learning is the fabric of our existence. We learn going to school. We learn through our mistakes. We learn through our experiences. If we don't learn, that's fine too. But even not learning is a form of learning. Everything has a paradox, and you can't have one without the other, it seems, in a life. It's like two sides of the coin. It's like a double-edged sword. We need both sides of everything in contentment. We need struggle. We need to be challenged. We need to look at things. Irrespectively, you're going to be looking at things anyway and asking questions internally. Or maybe you're not. I don't know. I'm assuming that most people seek something. You know, we wouldn't get up in the morning if we weren't motivated for something, unless we are completely immobilised. And certain people are completely immobilised. And I hope that those people can find what they seek in their life. And whatever works, you know. What works for one, as I said earlier, doesn't necessarily work for others. So hopefully we can all start walking down the path of a more happy life. And maybe there's been a couple of things in this talk that may trigger someone who can see certain things that I have spoke about that may help them to start moving towards something better and understanding that you have the power to change anything. You have the power. in your choices and your decisions. You can choose this, you can choose that. But whatever you choose, there's going to be an outcome from that choice. So hopefully you can choose wisely for your own sake and for your own happiness. Have a great Sunday. Take care.